throwaway account, 'cause wife knows the main one. Very short backstory. We had a whirlwind romance in 2019, got married in 2020. She's, F32, the only woman I've, M35, been with. She's had a few boyfriends and partners during her school and college phase. I didn't really think anything of it. Our 5-year anniversary is coming up this month. Our marriage has suffered from multiple issues. A low libido from me, her failed business and refusal to find a job because working a 9 to 5 is beneath her, and putting effort into the business is also difficult for her. Temper issues from both sides, smoking from my side, her constantly threatening divorce from the very beginnings of our marriage. Her issues with keeping the house and kitchen clean. She's a total slob to a point where eating food from the kitchen without me cleaning it is a legitimate health hazard, which made me feel like she wasn't invested in the marriage. Back in May, we had a particularly nasty fight, which ended up with the two of us not talking. Eventually, I texted her so that we wouldn't get into another argument about how she refuses to understand my pain. And suddenly, that flipped a switch in her head. Literally the next morning, she says that she wants a divorce. I think, oh God, she's doing it again. Okay, man, she's upset. Okay, calm her down, smooth things over. You're going to compromise on your needs, let her feel comforted and safe. She'll calm down eventually, and we can move past this. Nope. She's adamant. She puts her foot down, and she demands a divorce. No discussions, no mediation, no visiting the therapist, who I've mentioned is always supporting her side, but we still went there because she felt at ease. She demands that I give her a divorce by mutual consent immediately, and that she won't ask anything from me in return. I told her that it wouldn't be possible to grant divorce immediately. She asks why, and I remind her of the situation that I am currently going through. I won't reveal any details, but I'm applying for something for career advancement, which makes my application look a lot better if I am married on paper. So she tells me to leave the house and separate. The house we live in is her mother's. We moved to one of the floors here to support my MIL since my FIL had passed away during the pandemic. At times when I wanted to leave, MIL would emotionally manipulate her into staying because MIL is a helicopter parent who can't take a decision that other people have made. Prior to the separation, I have a few talks with her to understand the mentality behind her divorce because I'm believing that we can work through this and that we don't have to throw away a marriage. She starts talking about vague sentiments. I've poured so much love into you that I've lost myself. Now I need to be selfish. I need to find myself. I need to discover myself. This is my journey of self-healing. I can't be weighed down by the social contract of marriage. Without giving me details of what exactly the issue with the concept of marriage is, because I've never abused her, never hit her, never restricted her to do anything. She has her own friends, and she takes my car out more than I do. But eventually, she refuses to give me anything beyond that. She tells me that we can divorce, stay apart for 2-3 years, and if we see progress, we can get back together. Not under marriage, but with love or something, and have a child together. I tell her that being married is important to me if I want to have a child, that I won't put a child through a life where they have to spend time with one parent for a week and then another parent for another week. Eventually, this goes nowhere. So I prepare for the separation. I ask for some time, and eventually, after searching and finding nothing, I decide to move to my father's place, who lives at the other side of the city. The separation happened in early June. I take the separation as a life lesson and start working on myself. I go to the therapist to work on my temper. I start working out to improve my libido, quitting smoking, etc. I also make my affirmations and provide regular updates to her about my progress. But she's still adamant about the divorce. She says that she will help with the application, but after that is done, she wants a divorce. And she still says the same vague sentiments about self-healing, discovery, being selfish about her love, etc. Yes, this gives me the suspicion, but I throw it out of my head because my wife absolutely hates cheaters, just as much as I do. She and I chewed out a distant acquaintance for stepping out on his marriage last year, but I choose to believe the best in my wife. 2 weeks prior to this post, she asked me to come by and watch the house since she wanted me to take care of the cats we have, since she wanted to visit a nearby city where her cousin and her husband lived. I agreed. I noticed the house is a mess, which is usual for her. So I began cleaning the kitchen, dining room, hall, my old office room, and then our bedroom. I noticed the side table's drawers are messy. So I open them and take things out one by one to sort and organize them. That's when I found it. 2 condoms.
We don't use condoms. We've been trying for a child for the last year. Moreover, this brand is one that I never buy. Alarm bells ring in my head. I message my younger brother, who lives halfway across the country, and we both say there's no good explanation for this. But this is inconclusive. She could pass it off as, oh, that's something a friend dropped by. It slipped out of her purse. I need more evidence. Fast forward to yesterday. I visit her at this part-time place she's subbing for her friend. She's going on a vacation with a friend for the weekend, so I'd have to pet sit the cats for the weekend. She tells me that one of her apps isn't working and asked me to fix it. I noticed the opportunity. I asked her to get me some water, so she stepped out of the room. I opened the message app and found some men's names that I didn't recognize. I quickly synced her WhatsApp to my laptop's browser and closed it before she saw anything. I quickly head to the house and open my laptop, and there it is. She's been using Reddit for those sleazebag subreddits, posting photos of her private areas, verifying herself on subreddits. She's had at least 4 partners. She's told them that she got divorced last December already, and that I was incapable, impotent, abusive, etc. For the record, I have never laid a finger on her. I recorded what I could with screen cap software. Dates, times, numbers, locations, kinks, fetishes, voice notes, plans, things they did, etc. She's even had STD tests done for HIV and herpes. She's told her best friends that I was abusive, distant, etc. She's gloated about posting her body on Reddit, receiving hundreds of DMs, and how that all felt very validating for her. What really made things apparent was the timeline. The earliest text that I could find was from June 8th, the day I had left the house. Prior to that, WhatsApp was set to have disappearing messages. Her first escapade was 2 days later. The browser crashed, and when I relaunched it, I saw that I'd been kicked out. She called me immediately, demanding to know if I had synced to her WhatsApp. I played it off, saying I didn't know what she was talking about and that driving under the hot sun tired me out and I was asleep. She sounded like she bought it, but I guess the suspicion would still be there. But what she said made me angry. You didn't sync? Oh, okay, good. For a minute there, I was thinking the worst of you. I knew I had to keep a cool head, and I didn't confront her immediately. But I knew that I couldn't be alone and I needed someone to support me. I called my best mates over and they rushed over as fast as they could, listened to what I had to say, took me out for food and a movie, and are checking up on me every few hours. She called me earlier today from her vacation saying that she missed me, she loved me, but the reality of the divorce is sinking in, and that while she's still going through with it, she's learned so much from me about punctuality, cleanliness, and discipline. I rolled my eyes so hard they went back into my skull at that, and I pretended like I was still open for reconciliation. She talked again about how we should both preserve our genetic material for when we have a baby. I told her firmly, I will not have a child out of wedlock. Marriage may be an archaic institution for you, but it is sacred for me. I refuse to raise a child when the parents are separated and not married. I do not believe that makes for a good household to raise the child. If divorce is something you really want, then I'll give it to you, but I won't give you a child. She seemed annoyed at that. I heard a scoff, but after a bit more small talk, she ended the call. I know now that I can maintain a straight face when I have to lie to her. My best buddies are also ensuring that I extricate myself from her so she can't ask me to come and watch the house for her cats. I know for a fact that in the last time, when I found the condom, she met a partner in the other city and had a night together. I have to keep my head down and play the part until I can safely extricate myself from this. But there are flashes of me wanting to confront her, of confronting her with her mother and elder sister, her nephews, her brother-in-law, because everyone right now believes that I was an abuser. but I need to stay the villain right now. Please give me advice on my situation and how I can stay silent and act like I did during the phone call. Edit. I also discovered Reddit posts that confirmed to me that she did it on our marital bed. Edit 2. As I reread this and check the recordings, I realize that this has been going on for earlier than June 8. WhatsApp status shows that she turned off disappearing messages since then, which means that she felt confident to turn it off after I'd left the house, since there was no one to catch her cheating.
I found out my ex was cheating on me 3 days after I survived a level 5 bite dog attack. For those of you who don't know Dr. Ian Dunbar's bite scale, it's a scale that ranks dog bites and types of dog bites, taking into consideration the dog's bite inhibition and how many times they bite, including the severity. Out of a scale of 1, air nips, to 6, human fatality from the attack, mine was a 5 to my face, breast, and hand. This dog wasn't fucking around. I worked at the shelter and in animal care and rescue for over a decade and well-versed in FAS and dog body language, and even with all of this, I was still attacked. Yes, this happens, can happen, and obviously has happened. The dog was never supposed to be in adoptions, which is where I worked. The dog attacked during a morning walk when I reached down to pick up the dog's feces post-drop. He circled around from sniffing around the grass near my hip to biting into the side of my face and then continuing to bite. I spent hours in the ER and 3 follow-up months of physical therapy for my hand, the most injured of the 3 areas. 7 hours and 12 stitches later, I was given a script for Vicodin and a handful of topicals. Now this is where things get juicy. My boyfriend at the time, let's call him Jay, and I had been together for 6 years at this point, and I moved across the country with him. Jay was super sweet, smart, patient, and everything I thought I wanted. But when I found out 3 days later that the ring he gave me one Valentine's Day in the past year, my favorite in fact, was given to me by a friend of his that I heavily and openly disliked, let's call her Shannon, I questioned it immediately. How did I find out, you ask? She went through 2 years of FB info and used the pic of the ring I posted to my page and tagged him on and spilled the beans in the comment section with a, "Jay didn't give you this ring, I did." To be clear, she was friends with Jay on Facebook, had been messaging me in private, but I wouldn't respond to her because she wasn't in my friends list. To go into some context about what I know about Shannon, I met her the first year Jay and I were dating. I planned a surprise party for his birthday, dropped hundreds of dollars, and coordinated with his friends to surprise him at another friend's house. The morning of that day, I made an excuse to use his car to go get groceries for the party, but I forgot my wallet, so I went back into the apartment to get it, and my guy, Jay, this fucker, was on FaceTime with her. I didn't know what the hell I walked into, but Jay hopped about 6 feet in the air and then immediately ran over to me with the phone in a haste to introduce her to me. Funny, right? Red flag? This was the beginning of the red fucking banner. I brushed off the weirdness and ran my errands before we left for the party that no one besides myself and his friends are privy to. Remember that one? Tell me why, as soon as we pull up to the house, this bouncy bitch is practically skipping to meet us both. Huh. Have I hit my head? She was at a party I planned when she didn't exist to me until this morning. I found out later on that our mutual friend, the host, spilled the beans, and somehow that turned into an invitation for her. But in the meantime, I went off the assumption that the host invited her. She was all over Jay at the party, following him around, sitting in his lap, etc. I pulled Jay aside during the party and told him how uncomfortable I was with Shannon, asked him to intervene, and then said I would if it wasn't handled. Guess what? It wasn't handled. She went from sitting on his lap to kissing his cheek to the point where his best friend, a lovely entity named Grace, and I were texting like... After that, I was done trying to save face and not cause drama. Not with my man, not with my money, not with everything I prepared to make sure Jay had a good time. I warned him. I called to Shannon and told her to remove herself from his lap and stop kissing all over him. She stated back, "What's the problem? I do this to my family all the time." Girl, bye. He's not your family. In the end, after some more stressful encounters with her, she managed to wiggle her way into Jay's show performance, he's a guitarist, and proceeded to follow him around, even to the bathrooms. When we were at a friend's party, she followed him until he and I were laying in a separate bedroom in my friend's house alone and proceeded to stare at us both from 5 feet away. I told Jay I wasn't comfortable being around her.
I couldn't tell him who he could be friends with, but I didn't want anything to do with her. I should have left them both then. He didn't stop the attention because he didn't want to. Well, fast forward 4 years, my then boyfriend is going through it. He wasn't stable in employment, was living with me, and paying just $200 of a $1,200 rent in a studio bedroom, and was 3 months behind on his car payment, our sole car. His car ended up being repossessed, which he was somehow able to get out of repo just in the nick of time. They sent his car about 300 miles south to get sold, and his friend, as he told me, ended up taking him to get it after getting a loan to cover the cost of the car. I should have smelled the fuckery a mile away.
He got the car back, paid off the bank in full because of money I gave him. In exchange, he signed the title over to me as soon as he got the bank title. He just didn't want payments anymore, and I needed a car. Win-win. Fast forward to our 6-year anniversary. A week after we flew to our home state to attend Grace's wedding. Grace, if you're out there, congratulations. Again, I love you and I hope you're doing well. You a real one. We spent 2 weeks out there before flying back. Fast forward 3 months and you get my dog attack. All caught up? Good. As I said, Shannon had a Facebook but wasn't my friend, so her messages went to an archive folder from people trying to reach out that aren't on your friends list. When I saw her post, I asked Jay immediately about it. He confessed, somewhat. He said he had been cheating on me and was in contact with her. He confessed that the loan he got was from her. Her family is loaded. He confessed that the friend that dropped everything to take him to pick up the car was her. That time, he didn't return until the next day. I wonder why. I was broken. Jay and I had a ritual that after I bought the car, every Sunday when he had to work, he would drop me off at my friend's house to go hiking that morning, take his car to work, I would go hiking and get dropped off by my friend on her way to her job, and then he would come home later on. Or so I thought. It turns out he would drop me off, go to work, Shannon would pick him up from work and go to lunch and smash with him before he would return and go home to me. Fucking nasty ass. At least he showered. Less than bare minimum, I know. I knew somehow that he wasn't telling me the whole truth, and I told him that night that I needed to hear the whole truth in order to rebuild trust. He claimed to agree and then told me about another woman, a super religious mother of 2 that he helps with guitar lessons on the side, who he was involved with. She actually was married but wanted him to come back to our home state to teach her children guitar in an apartment he could live in that she would pay for. Ma'am, you are married. How do you explain this to your husband and your boy in the sky is watching? By the way, hey Jenny, stop hitting me up on FB about him. Take him, Taze. But anyways, you ever get that nagging sensation that something is off and the universe gives you the tea? Welp, when I woke up the next day from napping with Jay, I saw his phone unlocked in our kitchen. He never leaves his phone unlocked, and I saw the opportunity. You bet your sweet ass I took it.